In this assignment, I am here to support the 360-degree appraisal method, arguing against peer evaluation and upward assessments. As I am supporting 360 appraisal, I will talk about the possible developed arguments against my chosen method and discuss how they can be resolved to allow 360 method to remain the popular choice. I will also bring up points as to why peer evaluation and upward assessment may not be the ideal choice. 360-degree feedback is a system or process in which employees receive a private feedback anonymously written from those around them, typically written by the employee's managers, supervisors, peers, and even includes guests and customers. Now that's the important one. The feedback forms include questions that are measured on a rating scale and also ask raters to provide written comments where they can and wherever they feel necessary. Having the person receiving the feedback fill out a form including the same questions allows for a self-rating method to be included. Whether peer evaluation and upward assessments are relative to specific department members, 360-degree feedback includes all different department levels from within the company. So we're not just focusing on peers and we're not just focusing on the supervisors. There are multiple influences going into this. It will also include a factor from not within the company. Here I'm talking about the guests and the customers. This is very important as these are the most honest people and the ones that are least likely to be biased when giving their comments and giving their ratings. After all, they are the ones receiving the service. Having the person being evaluated fill out a form about themselves almost makes the system more personal too. I suppose this can be considered a journey of their efforts, as throughout their work time their efforts have gone out to others and now it's returning back to them, which they now have to self-assess. So that just allows for the personal recognition to be included a lot more in this method. Now I have some possible threat questions that may arise to try and outweigh my chosen method of 360-degree feedback. One of them may be that 360-degree feedback is not a way to determine whether an employee is meeting job requirements, basic job requirements. And that's true, but my argument against that and my solution to that would be that these requirements are measured on a daily basis rather than a format. So basic job requirements wouldn't be done in this method, in the 360-degree method anyway. A use of this is the fact that, let's say, a front desk employee isn't going to be assessed on their basic job requirements through a form. Their supervisors in that department will be around as they maybe take a call and book a room. However they handle the situation is going to be assessed there and then by that supervisor. How did they speak on the phone? How quickly and efficiently did they get the room booked? It's not something you write down. It's something that the supervisor takes in there and then and stores that knowledge just on a daily basis. Another example could be a line cook in a kitchen. And certainly because this is now more a physical field where there's a little bit less paperwork involved, being able to just assess that individual and their ability and performance to chop onions or tomatoes or any kind of fruit that they need to and prepare those meals is assessed instantaneously when they pass on that ingredients to the next chef. And the next chef instantly sees them and goes, oh, that was a good job, or that's a little bit too big and not cut to the correct size. That's a mental note. It's not something you write down. Is job requirements or the basic job requirements, and are they meeting them? ultimately, one's ability to meet basic job requirements will be determined long before the 360-degree feedback is even conducted. Another possible argument that that ones may bring to the surface are ones that 360-degree feedback requires different levels from within the department, and one, this take time. One, this take up more resources, more effort, and ultimately be quite a big process, rather than a simple peer evaluation process or a simple upward assessment. And my response to that is yes, it will take a bit more time, it will take more resources, more effort. However, the effects and the benefits that you get from this are on a much greater scale, and I think outweigh the process. The results 100% outweigh that challenging process. The information that you generate from 360-degree feedback is much more information that you may receive simply from a peer evaluation or upward assessments. Ideally, this makes for better records that the company can keep. The more information they get, the better they have to be able to formulate a plan for development, the better they are able to increase their efficiency and their productivity and ultimately make the workplace better. So for me, that kind of is a given that it's going to take more time and be a longer process due to the fact that you do have to go through peers and supervisors and also get that guest information as well. But again, that is going to make it the ultimate resource factor for giving feedback back to those employees. Now I have a few arguments to combat peer evaluation and upward assessments. I'll focus on peer evaluation first, and I would argue that peer evaluation can generate both positive and negative forms of biased results due to either friends or enemies, or other employees that you may have disagreements with. I think yes, although the 360-degree feedback implements peers as well, and that this can still be affected in my chosen method, at least I have other forms of information which I can rely on with the 360-degree feedback. Whereas simply relying on peer evaluation, I think offers a lot of room for things to go wrong, for things to be not necessarily taken as truthful and honest, and it can be manipulated a little bit more. So therefore, I feel that that's a weakness, a very strong weakness that would influence me to not choose that method greatly. And then if I was to argue against upward assessments, I would argue that supervisors may miss the little things. They may miss the small positives that employees do on a daily basis. Maybe only things peers or customers and guests may see or hear. So simply relying on the information that the supervisor has, I think isn't enough. Yes, the supervisor should be doing their job and be there enough that they have all the information they need, but the 360-degree feedback method, my chosen method, picks little spots from other aspects, other information that can be used to enhance that, that feedback to that employee, rather than simply relying on a supervisor's knowledge that they get from their day-to-day work. In conclusion, I feel that the 360-degree feedback compared to the other two discussed forms of performance management offers more detailed information to be compiled. An added bonus is that it also allows the evaluated individual to get information on what multiple levels from within the department think of said individual, as well as customers and guests. Now, for me, that would personally be the ideal choice, because you would want to know what everyone thinks. Because the results are given anonymously, they may come across as harsh truths. It is up to the managers to continue to motivate the individual through the comments and come up with a structured way to improve, as well as highlighting the positive results within the feedback to praise the individual on their performance already. That is my conclusion, and that is why I believe 360-degree feedback is the ultimate choice and the ultimate system to use, more so indefinitely than peer evaluations or upward assessments. My name is Harry Marshall, and thank you for listening.